Hey everybody. Today during the Daily Dharma, I was going on and I got cut off 2 different times. So we've got 3 Daily Dharmas loading, and the third one I was going to summarize, but as usual, by the time I get done doing all of the recorded messages, this stream has taken me in so many different side paths that then by the time I'm done recording and loading, I'm looking at all the cards and I'm seeing how there's other storylines existing within the matrices of the general reading. And so I want to just extract a romantic situation coming out of the shadows unexpectedly for some of you. It says, you light up the room. Things were dull, lifeless, and routine before you joined the team. And the delight card is like, the more that you come in with this positive mental attitude and confident and aware of yourself with full integrity, character, and joy in your heart, the more that they want to be part of your team and to follow you. And so it's really led you to have quite an essence of this innocence, something that just speaks very, very easily to the soul with this person. So they have some type of soul resonance with you. And they also appreciate how much knowledge you convey and how much information just works with everything else that you bring to the table. And you're very educative. You bring things to people's minds and hearts that they haven't considered. And I feel like from the first time you met this person, you have been able to activate each other as they've been witnessing you, because it was all about witness the observer bias, and how others perceive us is not always how we think they perceive us. Don't believe everything you think. They really appreciate the not only the way you use your voice, but the actual tone of your voice. Like when you speak, from the first time you spoke, there was something in the voice. And when you speak with passion and with commitment and with strength and fortitude. You speak up for things that you care about, and you use your word as a prayer. And so you keep things on the up and up. You show a lot of clarity, wisdom, and you keep your arrow true and straight. And so even though you may not have taken off with this other individual witnessing you from the first time, there was always the recognition, and so the connection was made. So you are somebody who reaches out to other souls at different levels, and so this is really meeting people where they are. And so much resonance is built from you, and so much humility in the operation of it. You don't make it a big deal. It's just like something you do automatically. And so these innocent things has made somebody have this huge, overflowing, radical ability to just unconditionally have this accepting love of you. And you've helped them to radically accept their own journey, their own path, and to really delve into parts of themselves that they hadn't considered previously, or maybe were afraid to jump into. You demonstrate an embodied presence. You have a potency. You're larger than life. You stand head and shoulders above the crowd or above the competitors. You have a cosmic awareness and perspective that goes beyond this realm and beyond the consumerist mindset, and goes into things that talk about the magic of the earth and the sky and the way that systems operate together or at cross purposes. You witness things and nuances that others don't take into their beingness. And the way that you continue to surmount obstacles and embody this presence, this potency, and this larger than life main character vibe, anyone, is like really taking back your power. And it's making someone else stand in their place and take notice in a different way. Like they never recognized this about you until the proper time and place for the recognition to happen. or something such as that. So you represent the origins of strength and empowering other individuals. You're a clear conduit of beauty and light and elevation, and you're just, again, that delight to behold. You light up the room, and others notice that this is the strength and the courage to be yourself, sovereign to yourself. And there's an amazing timeless artistry to that way of being that others can relate to across generations, across economic, financial boundaries, across genetic or racial boundaries. There's a relatability that comes through you. And I think it's because you're willing to be this beautiful soul who colors outside of the lines and creates something that no one had ever thought of before. It's the way that you see the world, and then the way that you speak it back out. Where somebody's like, oh, I got lost in traffic and I took the wrong turn. You can be like, oh, that sounds like a lovely detour. Were you able to at least listen to another good song on the way? Or, you spin it. You have a lot of spin. You spin me right round, baby, right round. And you being in this innocent energy of just pure delight and ecstasy and bliss is highly triggering to other people. And if you want more messages, the in-depth readings are the 1, 2, and parts 3 of the Daily Dharma today. And it's all about, again, witnessing the observer bias, because the observer bias can sometimes come where other people attract us into their lives, but they don't understand why. But just the same, we sometimes push them accidentally on purpose into being a better version of themselves. Like one time somebody was victimizing themselves and saying they didn't have the resources or the ability to do this thing. And so I was like, oh, well, I'll support you. I'll come along. And so then they had no excuses because I was there to support. So, um, I showed up, and then it was somewhat of a challenge. And so when they found themselves doing the class, it's like all of a sudden they brought their notes, they brought their outline, but I had incidentally pushed them because they wanted to play the part. They didn't want to be capsized in their boat. That was their image to uphold. And so these storms can make others feel envious, jealous. It may cause some people to mirror you in an attempt to gain some type of popularity, but they can't land what isn't theirs. Because on the back here, where is it at here? The card that came out was letting the resources determine the blueprints, which I'll put that one back up here in the line. I was wondering how to tell the story, but letting the resources determine the blueprints is all about like not getting caught up with the lack mentality and just being like, well, what can be done, what should be done, and what will you do? And so you're just like, well, I got this and this, let's put them together. Can we make a soup or not? And so you're solving for the variable. So you're this pattern interrupt. And so others are projecting their inadequacies upon you. I said that same thing in the previous one. Projecting their inadequacies and their ideas that their limitations are yours, or that you aren't as good as you appear. And in that way, they're trying to preserve their own ego and their own elevated status within their own mind. But and they're trying to rally groups to gossip and discredit your achievements and efforts, but it's going to fall to deaf ears, because others cannot help but love you even if others gossip. You represent harmony in adversity by not succumbing to the lower levels of fighting or drama, or manipulating people when you know that with your psychic gifts you could easily manipulate others. You instead use it to elevate and uplift and support and create breakthrough moments in people's ability to give themselves self-love and and deserving vibes, the whole thing. It's like, and when people want to get in an argument with you, you bring insights and you ask them for clarity so that they can clarify their process. And this pushes them into creating a framework for them to break through the next level, because you're bringing the piercing sound of the universe, which is sometimes so deconstructive, if handled correctly, that we deconstruct any false matrices, false beliefs, and delusions and bring them just kind of falling back with that spiritual narcolepsy card, which I didn't choose to pull out but did come in. Check out the messages. Falling back to earth and creating some type of a healing crisis for these people. But you're able to neutralize the charge that's coming through this, any type of tensions, and evolve into the demands of the moment. You're prepared for anything and you help the situation evolve. So the star is like you're gaining popularity, reputation, and recognition for these evolving things that are going on. And because of the way that others are witnessing you and your come up, they are witnessing their own observer biases against you. And they're getting this clarity and realization of who the hell you have always been. And they're witnessing you as the true north. They feel like you are their destiny. You're aligned, you're steadfast and focused. And they're possibly getting advice from some of their friends because they think that they overlooked an opportunity and they had some kind of unanswered prayers, red flags, unanswered prayers, some type of deceptive influence that they followed instead. But then now they're seeing how this other side of Neptune is the spiritual resonance and soul blueprint resonance they have with you, and they're ready and willing to follow your path and to follow your lead. And then it says, take another little piece of my heart now, baby. So you're really winning someone over. And they're learning that there really is no spoon because you're helping others to see around mundane matters, to deliver themselves from some kind of demonic fear threshold and push through into their highest capacity. You're teaching them how to follow the breadcrumb trail and to follow the clues towards their destined, fated frequency shift. And so you can't help but elevate as you're elevating others because that's the nature of the game. And so somebody's perspective of you is shifting and they're really thinking about reaching out to contact you because of this. And when this happens, I'm seeing this is where that perfect time is coming online for this witness to come through. And it feels like this is potentially the individual or yourself that we're talking about having this epiphany waking up moment. And under the deck here looking at me has been the farther gate, a bold step forward. So somebody is trying to possibly take you out on a date. I'm seeing there's all these treasures that have been hidden in the shadows. And yeah, there's this ability to want to take a bold step forward into this garden gate where simplicity and love exists and to protect their future. Oh yeah, beautiful, because you are this resourceful one. You're difficult to get to know at first because you mirror and you assist and you're in others' energies. But yeah, there's this definite move going through. So I hope you like that, and check the Daily Dharma for the more in-depth messages that might speak to you in other realms. Thank you so much.